People said they were playing Little House on the Prairie, and they damaged her for life. Like, if she had been transferred to the burn unit, if you want to, besides the police being on the phone here, I'd love to get some doctors and psychologists involved into this conversation, because I'm sorry, sending somebody home with a burn on 10 to 20% of their body and telling their parents, a 59-pound 8-year-old, and telling their parents to go get some bandages and Sylvanine. What happened in this house was medieval torture. I know what my daughter was put through, and she's sitting over here with lifelong injuries. She has so many running complications from this: type 1 diabetes, osteopenia, bone bruises. Her teeth are having all these kinds of issues from bone loss because no one's ever taken care of any of this. She's sitting here with nothing. They didn't even apologize. They're not even responsible at all to adults dumping scalding water on a child.
She was supposed to be, her injury was supposed to be reported to DHS that night.
That night.
We were seen at the emergency room for 17 minutes.
17 minutes. And then 25 minutes home the next day, and I'm told to go home.
On a 59-pound 8-year-old
my babies, my little kids.
Second to third degree burns.
And my
10
other
to 20%
children here,
of her body.
My other children here had to witness their sister all burned up in her bed, screaming and crying through all these bandage changes
and we're
with
calling
no
the doctors,
medication.
And we're asking them,
and the doctors are telling us,
we think it's infected, and they're telling us that everything's fine.
We're 28 and 29 years old,
doing what you're
black
doing.
people, and that's how they treat us. And my husband had insurance at Nike, and we're thrown out of a hospital to do complicated wound care. That is not okay.
Without
so if you're
any
calling us to tell us this
supervision?
was an accident, it was not an accident. There are people here who are responsible, and it is high time someone took responsibility. Because my daughter is sitting here still suffering, and she will suffer till the day she dies because of this. And I want somebody to say they're sorry, and I want them to take responsibility. I'm tired of Rex Burkholder being protected. We need an investigation
into what happened to our daughter at their house, an actual real forensic investigation, okay? Because that was never done. No investigation. You guys never even talked to the people that actually harmed our daughter. So how were you able to determine that this was an accident?
And can I say one other thing? We have worked with the Square. We have turned our sound down for the last 2 weeks, okay? We are working with Luke at the Square. We are doing the best we can. But I will tell you this. Whatever else is going on in this town, people are running around with Molotov cocktails, burning things down, acting crazy. Me and my husband don't do any of that. We very quietly and have very politely, might I say, for the last 14 years, put nose to grindstone and tried to work this out.
We've been in the court.
And all we get is phone calls like this where people say, oh, it's fine to play with naked kids and burn them. No, it's not.
This was not an accident.
That's the corruption we're talking about. So don't blow smoke. Tell the truth. We know this was child abuse.
Be straight with us. Because you received the report as a report of child abuse. As a matter of fact, Qadira can't even get her hands on the report because it is a report of child abuse. So while you're trying to, I feel like you said you were going to be straight with us. You know this was a crime. Why are you not treating it like a crime? So that's
what. So here's, and this is, I'm going to give it to you straight, and I'm going to give it to you straight right now. And I understand, I hear all the frustration, and I hear all the anger. This happened in 2007. First and foremost, it's outside the statute of limitations.
No, because we reported it.
We reported it, and we've been pursuing it.
We reported it within the statute of limitations, okay?
Hold on.
So don't tell us that.
And I'm going to let you talk. Let me finish. The second half is CARES Northwest has looked at it. The Portland Police Bureau has looked at it, and they are not going to reinvestigate it. The District Attorney's Office has looked at it, and they have also said that they are not going to.
And that's the corruption we're discussing.
This is the corruption that we're talking about here.
Hold on. Let me finish. So what I'm being straight with you, and I'm being upfront, and I'm being honest. That portion of it is off the table.
I don't think so, actually.
We're going to continue to protest. We don't agree with that.
What I'm telling you is this is not something that is going to.
This
is not going to happen.
Okay, can you answer me one question? Can you please answer me one question? Can you answer me one question, please?
It's not going to happen. And so what I want to know.
Can you answer me one question? I just want you to answer. I just want you to answer me one question, okay?
Okay, sure.
How was it that you were able to close a child abuse investigation without talking to the people that actually hurt our daughter?
So again, I understand that I'm the person on the other end of the phone, and I'm the person in uniform. I didn't conduct that investigation, and so reading the reports, the investigation that was done, according to CARES Northwest, according to the police bureau, was conducted thoroughly enough. They found no crime.
They didn't talk to the people that harmed our daughter. How was it? You're not going to find a crime if you're not actually looking for a crime. They did not talk to the people that aren't going to find a crime if they're not looking for a crime.
We know you guys are involved in covering it up. So you just called to say you're involved in covering it up, and you're going to keep covering it up because you're corrupt. That's what you're saying.
Well,
and you don't do things for black people the same as white people, rich white people. Just say it.
Hold on. And again, let's take like half a second. Let's just kind of take a breath so we're not screaming, because that's not going to accomplish anything.
Okay.
What I need you to understand is the cases that we take the most seriously are the ones related to children, right? Children are vulnerable. They are not able to take care of themselves, and so we treat these with the highest, utmost importance. And I'm not going to say that, this was just swept under the rug, because, again, it involves a child. Anything related to a child gets the utmost scrutiny. And I'm sorry if you do not believe that happened. I'm letting you know that if, a child comes in and they have second or third degree burns on, 20% of their body, it gets investigated.
Really?
And it gets investigated thoroughly because, again, it is related to a child. Now, again, the investigation shows that there was no crime. And I obviously hear that you folks do not agree with that. I totally understand that, but I'm being upfront and I'm being honest with you, and I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be reopened. The DA's office has said no. The police bureau has said no. Okay. CARES Northwest has said no.
Okay.
And so I want to try to find a way to get you folks some closure based on the information that I just provided you.
There will be no closure until there's an investigation.
And we will continue our protest.
Because, again,
okay, well then we're going to be protesting for the rest of our lives. We're going to be protesting for the rest of our lives.
I want you to find a way to get your voice out there without doing it in a manner that...
We're not doing it in any kind of bad manner. We go down, we tape, we keep our volume down. We've worked with Luke for the last 2 weeks. We've turned our sound down. He's happy with the sound. We're happy with the sound. But
cite us
is just,
or do whatever you got to do.
We're allowed to go down there.
That's fine.
Hold on a minute. We are allowed to go down to the square. We are keeping our volume down per what security has asked us to do. Okay? We've done it for the last 2 weeks. We've worked with them. So why you're even calling is a little silly. Honestly, if that's all you're going to say is there was no crime, we are going to go down there. We're going to continue to be with our sign. We know there was a crime. We know that you guys are covering it up
for this politician.
And
we know that.
And it's not worth it. I'll tell you that right now.
You are involving yourself in the corruption. You are continuing to cover up the crime that happened to our daughter. You know it was a crime. I know you know it was a crime. That's why you're not investigating it. That's why you're not going to investigate it, because nobody wants to go to jail for this. You're going to have to take doctors to jail. You're going to have to take judges to jail. You're going to have to take police to jail. Nobody wants to do that. So that's not why you're not going to actually investigate the crime. You're not, because this was actually a crime and everybody knows it. And for you guys, if you guys actually were to do an investigation and pass it on to prosecution for the DA, these people would be going to jail. That's why the police are refusing to do an actual investigation. That's why no investigation ensued. And we know that. We know that. We know that's why you are refusing to do an investigation.
Go ahead.
Hey, Renee, let me suggest something to you, because it's really clear to me that you're not believing what Sergeant Sinsgaard and I are telling you.
Yeah, no, I don't believe it at all. Because
right, and so my suggestion to you, and you can take it or leave it, would be, have you considered hiring your own investigator to do an investigation to prove that we're lying?
We shouldn't have to do that.
I'm an American
citizen. You are public servants. That's your job to do an investigation.
Right now, you guys are just covering up for people you shouldn't be covering up for.
I'm sorry, but the DA is not going to take an investigation from the DA is not going to accept an investigation from a private investigator. That needs to come from the police. And so we know exactly what you guys are doing. You are making sure that this does not get investigated, so none of these people have to go to jail. And that is
and you're doing
corruption.
and you're doing yourself a disservice.
That is corruption. You are not helping the community. You are not helping the community, okay?
And that's why the community here is going to go into hell in a handbasket.
Hold on. This DA is all about, if there's police corruption, he's all about finding it.
Okay, well,
kind of the platform
that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. The city is literally,
oxymoron.
the city's on fire, burning to the ground, and the DA is great.
Opportunity to talk. You need to listen now. It's my turn. Now, again, the DA, who again is all about sniffing out corruption with police, has said no. Now, if that DA is saying no, then you got to believe that there is no, because
because white people burned our daughter, it's fine, right?
Wait a second. Let me ask you a question. Did the DA do?
Now, hold on. If you're going to ask me a question, you got to give me an opportunity.
Okay, go ahead.
Are we clear? You can
sure.
ask your question, but I want an opportunity to
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm ready for your question.
Okay. Did the DA do an actual investigation into police corruption or corruption into our system?
No. Well, specifically into the police bureau?
Yes.
In this case.
I don't believe he has opened an official investigation.
Okay.
Great. So nothing's been looked at.
So actually nothing's been.
The fact that if there is some hint of police corruption, he will do everything in his means to find it and hold those people accountable.
But no,
that was the platform he ran on when he was.
So what you're telling me
is the platform that he is currently still standing on.
Okay, so what we have actually reported police corruption to you, but the DA is refusing to look into it. Is that what you're telling me?
So you are reporting the fact that you believe that a crime was committed.
Yes.
The DA looked at the report, and based on the reports, found not only
a crime was committed and a crime was covered up.
Wait a second. The DA specifically told us that he cannot prosecute this crime without a investigation from the police. And the police are refusing to do an official investigation into what happened to our daughter. So tell me, how does that? How are you enforcing the law?
If you was done back in 2008 when you made that initial report to Officer Miller.
Okay, can I say this? First of all, you are not addressing the fact that my daughter's injury was reported to a slew of mandatory reporters, teachers, doctors,
judges,
attorneys, judges. Second, so you have not addressed the issue that all these people broke the law not reporting that. You have not addressed the issue that our daughter was not treated for a severe injury and that she was in fact tortured. If you think we're going to forget that today, tomorrow, or even 100 years from now, that is not going to happen. I'm going to say that. And third of all, okay, I just watched the George Floyd trial. Okay, Derek Chauvin is in trouble because he put his knee on this man's neck, okay, and killed him. But you're telling me that Amy McQuiston, it was perfectly acceptable for her and her husband to coerce my daughter to get naked and then pour boiling water onto her and not seek medical care at all and get their politician brother to cover it up. Let's just be clear. If I'm down in the South and you just want to call me a nigger over the phone, tell me. Say, hey, nigger, you got no rights. Okay. Just say it to my face.
It's really clear to me that this...
because I just want to be clear about that. Because that's what it is.
Unless there is an official investigation into what happened to our daughter, we will not stop protesting. You need to understand that there has never been an official investigation done by the police into what happened to our daughter. And don't tell me that what the DHS did was an official investigation, because it wasn't. They did not even talk to the people that actually harmed our daughter. So there was no investigation done.
The First Amendment, Article 1 of the Oregon Constitution gives you all the rights in the world. It ensures your rights to protest. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the manner in which you're choosing to protest.
Listen, I want to ask you a question. I'm asking you.
We don't break windows. We don't hurt people.
I want to ask you a personal question. Do you think that this is corruption?
Do I think what is corruption?
What is happening with us, with the police refusing to do an investigation? Do you believe personally that is corruption?
We did an investigation in 2008. DHS did an investigation.
You did not do a police investigation.
2013.
Where's the official investigation?
Any corruption here?
I've seen the investigation. Like, I looked at the investigation with that guy, what was his name, that was running around shooting people downtown. I can't remember, Patrick Kimmons. That is a 500-page investigation that is posted on Oregon.gov. You can look it up. Where's my daughter's investigation?
Yeah,
we are citizens of the United States of America. We are born and raised here, and we deserve a proper police investigation. What we don't deserve is what you are doing right now, which is calling us, trying to gaslight us and tell us that it's okay to play naked games with little kids and burn them with tea kettles. If you believe that, that is completely on you. If that's something you do with your kids, you like to play naked with them and boil kettles with them, that's totally fine. I see a lot of people in this city think that boiling up kettles and playing with naked kids is acceptable. Me and my husband personally do not find this action acceptable.
And we know it's against the law.
And we are citizens here. We pay taxes. We are allowed to be in the square. We do not break windows like all the other protesters.
We do not threaten people.
We do not threaten people. We do not attack people. They asked us to turn down our volume. We very nicely turned it down. We don't wear masks and cover up our faces. Our phone number and address is available to you. We make sure that we are trying to work with the citizenry, and we have worked with the citizenry down there. There's plenty of people who sit and quietly watch us do what we do and tell our story. And as far as I'm concerned, the protesters in this city could take a page out of our book and maybe learn how to protest without burning down the city. What it seems to me is you guys like playing, let me finish. It seems to me that you guys like playing footsie with the violent protesters.
Karleen, it's my turn. So all I'm asking is if you turn the volume down a little bit.
We have.
Well, I need you to turn it down a little bit more because I'm getting complaints. I don't honestly care that you are out there doing all of this. More power to you. That's the right for being a United States citizen. By all means, do it. All I'm asking, turn the volume down a little bit more.
And we have turned the volume down quite a bit.
And then we're good.
We've turned it down to the point where Luke is happy with us. So, I mean, I've worked with him in terms of how high it can be, and we are going to continue to do it until this city understands.
Who did you say?
I said we're going to.
Luke is the security guard.
Luke is the security guard, and we're talking with him, and we're working with him. Because we don't go around threatening the city like the other protesters that you guys like so much.
His name is Luke?
Luke. We don't know his last name.
He works for security for Pioneer.
Yes, and he has a decibel thing, okay? And he's looked up how high our decibels can be, and he has instructed us how high we can have our volume.
Okay.
Legally.
What I'm saying is the volume is still too loud, and I just need you to turn it down a little bit more, and bam, you guys are golden. You can stand out there.
I'm really having a problem with this conversation because I thought you were going to be straight with us. You are not addressing any of the. You are not addressing any of the. There is a reason why we are out at the square. If these issues would get addressed, there would be no reason for us to be at the square.
And that there's not going to be any more investigation.
There has been no investigation. That's the problem.
Well, here's the thing.
The problem is there has been no investigation.
Here's the thing. I just want to let you know, and what is your name? Sir? Your name?
My name's Jake Jenson.
Okay, so I just want to let you guys all know as a group that you are making a personal choice to involve yourself in corruption. And when this thing comes apart, and it will, because trust me, that's just how corruption is. I mean, eventually the bag of poop is going to rupture, and it's going to land on your face. So what I'm saying is you should probably not involve yourself with it. You should probably recuse
yourself from this circumstance.
Just stay away from it, because the people who did this to my daughter, this is not good.
They're criminals.
And this isn't going to...
And they belong in jail.
It's not okay.
None of this is good.
And it's not okay for the police department to be engaging it. You guys already look bad with everything that's going on in this city. I would suggest you stay away from it.
You're involving yourself in a crime.
Our volume is down enough to the point where, we've worked with security. We don't believe you that it's okay to play naked games with kids and burn them with tea kettles. I'm not going to take your advice on that one. We don't do the pedophile thing around here. I don't agree that people should be covering up for pedophiles, which we all know that's happening here. And it happened nationally with Epstein and all this, that, and the third. And so, you know what? We're going to continue to go down there and alert the community that we have a problem in our hospitals, a problem in our courts, and a problem at our police department. And that is something that the citizens here need to understand, because the fact that you can send your kid over to someone's house here and then maybe they're in some weird pedophile ring where they can burn up your kid and rape them and do whatever they want and the police aren't going to look into it, that's a big problem.
That's a big problem. That's a huge
problem. And the
problem.
reason you should be looking into Qadira's case is I'm sure where there's smoke, there's fire. So you guys are not doing your job.
And we know
it's not
that.
a good thing. It's not helping the city. And the media here is not doing its job. That's not a good thing. That's not helping the city. You're seeing the crime rate explode. And what you're seeing for police is their entire reputation sink because of this kind of stuff.
You guys aren't doing your job.
Because of this kind of stuff. Right here, this conversation right here is one of the reasons
we are reporting crimes
losing your
to
credibility.
You guys, and you're not doing your job.
So, I mean, it would help if you would stand with us, but if you're not going to, just don't hinder what we're doing because we're actually trying to help the community.
Please.
We're trying to help the community. And we're trying to actually help you.
Hold on. All right, you've done your talking. It's my turn. I have no problem with you helping the community. I'm all for you helping the community, and I am all for you voicing your opinion. And if you believe that the police are corrupt, that's your opinion. That is not my opinion. I've worked here for 18 years, and I've never, I can't be any more straightforward with you than I don't believe, honestly, that there's any corruption in the Portland Police Bureau. But, again, you have your opinion, and you are totally welcome to that. The only thing that I'm asking is you turn the volume down a little bit, and then you can speak your opinion all you want. Because, again, I'm still getting complaints from businesses, from people at the square, that you are out there, and you're speaking your mind, and I'm totally good with that, but the volume is too loud, and it's disrupting everybody that's sitting out there. And to be perfectly honest, it's hindering your message because the only thing you're doing is upsetting the people that are out there, and they don't want to listen. They just want you to turn your volume down. They don't want to hear what you have to say.
People don't want to hear what we have to say because we're speaking the truth, and there's a lot of work to be done within our institutions to make people safe, and people just don't want to work on that, specifically even yourself.
This is the city of Portland. Everybody here is looking for some level of corruption. If they actually believed what you were saying, then more likely than not, people would be listening. But right now, the manner in which you're doing it is just creating disruption. And people don't want to be disrupted.
You know what's disruption? It's fires in the street.
So again, I don't have an issue with you folks sitting out there and speaking your mind and talking about everything. That's great. I'm just asking you to turn the volume down. That's it.
Do you think that it's disruptive for protesters to go and destroy the city and light fires to people's business?
I absolutely do.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like you guys are arresting those people and prosecuting them.
You don't do anything with it. You just let them do it.
But you're also looking at it from a perspective outside the police bureau. You're looking at it from the perspective of somebody watching the news. Let me tell you, we're doing everything we can in order to make this stop. There are certain guidelines in which I have to work, and it's called the law. And it's called the Constitution.
So that's really funny because in our case,
Hold on, I'm talking, you're listening. This is how this goes. You see it from one side. Like, apparently you believe that I see it from not your side. But what I'm telling you is, all these protests that are going on, it's criminal activity, and we're doing everything we can to get rid of that criminal activity.
Okay, are you?
Unfortunately, what you folks are doing currently right now, one, you're trespassing, and two, if you continue the sound up, then it's disorderly conduct.
How are we trespassing on a public property?
We have turned the sound down.
I'm not interested in arresting you folks because I don't think it's going to.
Excuse me, but we've turned the sound down.
Hold on. The only thing that I want to do is I want to come to a reasonable solution that everybody at the square is happy with, that you folks are happy with, and then we can be done. Because at this point, I have a lot of other things that are super pressing that I need to be taking care of.
You need to be taking care of this. This is super pressing. That's obviously why you're calling us.
So what you're saying is what happened to our daughter is okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
I've been very honest with you and told you that investigation is not going to be reopened.
Okay.
It's not going to be reviewed.
There was no investigation at all.
There was no investigation.
So you're not. It's not reopening.
No, according to the you have no investigation to give the public.
We should actually be able to view a public investigation on your website. That does not exist. So don't tell me that there was investigation because there's not.
Well out of my control, and that is not.
Okay. Well, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. Give me someone. Who is your superior? I would like to talk to the person that did the so-called investigation.
Yeah, let's
okay.
break down
I want to talk to that person. I don't want to be talking.
Back in 2007.
We don't need to talk to you. Okay. Oh,
And
you don't even know who that is, but you should know. Okay, so you have a problem
you
with
have
the
to
way
do
that
some
you're
work.
running your organization. So
You
don't tell us that we are the problem when you guys are not doing your job. Okay,
You need
don't
to
tell
look
us that
into
we
this.
are the problem.
You need to be able to explain to us why it was okay for the doctors not to report our daughter's injury.
Or
why
treat
was
her.
that okay?
You need to be able to explain to us why they were allowed to run a fraudulent trial at the Multnomah County Courthouse. You need to be able to explain to us, and you need to be able to explain to us.
You need to ask the Multnomah County District Attorney then.
We have been, and they've refused to talk to us. Does that sound helpful? Does that sound productive?
The court thing, right? You understand that we're two separate entities, correct?
Sure. But you're supposed to
You need
investigate
to do it as
public
crime.
corruption,
That's
correct?
a crime. It's a crime what they did.
Public corruption is a crime, isn't it?
Can I just?
We've already readdressed it.
You have not addressed
So
anything.
you're telling me it's okay to play naked games with kids and burn them with tea kettles? Can you say that? Is that true? Is that a true statement?
I'm sorry, Mr.
It's okay to play naked games with little kids and burn them with tea kettles. That is what you're telling me.
The way you're describing it?
That is what it was.
Okay.
That is
But
what it
again,
was.
That's how you're describing it. Again, according to the investigation.
What did the investigation tell you? What does the investigation tell you? How do you describe what was happening there?
The investigation said that there was no crime, and apparently the hospital thought there was no crime.
The hospital
Because you have
thought
to
there
go
was no
without
crime.
Investigating it. If anybody, the hospital should be raising all sorts of red flags.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So why didn't they?
I
A
don't
burned
know.
up child?
Again, doesn't it make you wonder why?
Are you
because somebody was related
what
to
you're
a
telling me is that the
politician.
police
Are
corrupt,
you
and the hospitals
familiar?
are corrupt, and the county's corrupt, and everybody's corrupt all at once, all around.
Yes,
Yeah, they
that's
are.
called systemic
All
corruption
around
and
your
racism.
specific-
Systemic
Yeah,
racism. Heard of it?
when you're a powerful politician here who has influence in the courts and the hospitals, we know that Rex Burkholder was friends with Joe Robertson, the president of OHSU. We know that. We know he has ties we know he was friends with Michael McShane. We know that he has influential ties into our community, and that's why you're not looking into this. You're protecting these people, but they're criminals. Are you familiar, sir, with Carley's Law? Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. What is the first injury that is supposed to be reported as a suspicious injury? Burns.
Thank you.
Okay. Tell me then, since our daughter was burned and seen at the hospital, why was her burn not reported to the police that night by the hospital?
They didn't have to make a determination. Why did they report it?
Huh?
Why wasn't it?
Why wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that's a good question.
So why are you not asking the hospital?
They won't speak to us.
They're refusing to talk to us about it.
They won't speak to us. That's why we need a police investigation.
And then when the police report was written in 2008, which is like a year later, right?
Yeah. We thought it was getting dealt with, but we didn't know that our attorney
wasn't going to report it to the police.
We didn't know our attorney was actually related to the family that hurt our daughter. So we didn't know that.
Again, but it was reported to the police back in 2008.
We reported it to the police within her statute of limitations.
They conducted an investigation. And
they did
did
not
conduct an investigation. You
investigation.
have to tell us why it wasn't reported.
If they conducted an investigation, that investigation would be online. We would be able to see the investigation. Okay?
You can do a public records request and ask for all the investigative paperwork that goes with it.
Yeah, but we're not getting that because we did that, and you're refusing to give it to us.
We've asked for stuff. We don't get stuff from you guys.
So I mean,
nobody's ever told us why she wasn't treated. Nobody's ever told us why nobody reported the injury. But what we do know is she was naked and she was burned.
Okay,
So,
you're not.
She was naked and she was burned. Is that okay? She was buck naked and burned.
Again, you keep bringing that up, and you're going to get the same answer from me, which the answer is, the way you're describing it, no, that is not okay.
Okay, well then do an investigation into it.
The same questions, but you're going to get the same answer.
Okay, so do an investigation into that.
The phone call as to why we're here.
But then why don't you want to do an investigation into that? Just go ask
Todd. You can go and do whatever it is you feel you need to do.
Why?
Again, I told you at the get-go I was going to be straightforward and I was going to be honest with you.
Can you answer me?
All I've been has been nothing but straightforward and honest.
Okay.
And the straightforward, honest answer is, they're not going to reopen the investigation.
Okay, I would like to know.
They're not going to look at it.
I would like to know.
You need to kind of figure out how you're going to get closure.
I would like to know why the police did not question Todd Burkholder or Amy McQuiston or even Sophie Burkholder? Why did the police not question those people?
Well, 7 and then 2008, and I don't have an answer to that because I didn't have the case. And
so again, you don't have any answers, so get the person on the phone that's got the answers.
Yeah, so you can't find the person that has the answers to that?
Well, listen, if they thought that there was a crime, they would have gone out and they would have contacted those people.
You know, you're sitting there over the...
But again, they didn't believe that there was a crime.
Do you think it's a crime? Do you think it's a crime? Do you think it's a crime? I don't think it's a crime. You don't think it's a crime
to play naked.
A naked game called Little House on the Prairie with a child to get them completely naked
and boil water and burn them.
And burn them up so that they have a second to third degree burn from 10 to 20% on their body.
And
you don't think that that's a crime?
So let me ask you something. And I want an honest, and I don't want to hear corruption because I don't think that's a feasible answer. But the way you're describing it, right? Why do you think? So you're describing it as they coaxed her into the bathtub with another little girl, buck naked, playing Little House on the Prairie. They pulled their daughter out, and then they held your daughter in there and they dumped scalding water on her. Right? This is how it was described. Mm-hmm. Why do you think the police are not investigating that?
Because Todd is Rex's.
That's not a crime because the way you describe that, right? That sounds horrible.
Yeah,
right?
That's what happened.
So
that's the way they described it.
You honestly believe that there was some street officer that looked at that and was like, you know what? God, I'm just going to cover this one up.
Yeah, because he was asked to.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Not knowing any relation to any of these other people that you are calling out that are supposedly high profile and all this other stuff. This street officer is going to write this report and then all of a sudden it's going to vanish. You honestly think that's a thing?
Yeah,
I honestly think that's a thing because Rex Burkholder is a prominent politician.
Here in this.
He is Todd's brother.
Nobody knew that.
That's a fact.
Nobody knew that?
Nobody knew that?
I don't believe that.
It'd be very easy for the police to figure that out.
I believe.
You could be lying right now.
Huh?
It's going to get nothing but red flags.
How is that getting red flags? Is Todd not related to Rex?
And again,
is Todd Burkholder not related to a prominent politician?
And all of a sudden they're like, okay, this is not how this happened.
Why don't you ask these people?
Is Todd Burkholder is Todd Burkholder related, the brother of Rex Burkholder, a prominent politician here in this city?
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I don't even know who these people are. I really don't.
Well, you should look into it.
I don't know who Rex Burkholder is.
Well, you should look into it.
I just don't.
You should look into it.
You should, because that's what we're talking about.
Because you got a bunch of pedophiles running the city.
There's corruption happening in the city, and if you guys aren't looking into it, obviously you're not going to find it. Okay, so to me, it sounds like you're not even interested in looking into police corruption. So why are you calling us and bothering us about what we're doing?
Related to police corruption?
Huh?
Again, I don't.
If you guys are covering up for prominent politicians who are committing crimes here in our city, that is corruption. Okay? That is corruption.
My boss is requiring my attention. I apologize that I have to cut this short.
Okay.
And the only thing that I'm asking is that you turn the volume down.
I just want to ask one more question. How did you expect to give us closure if you know nothing about the case?
Well, that's just it, ma'am. I called to ask to see what you needed for closure, and you couldn't.
We need an investigation for closure.
And that should be something you can get done.
That is no. And I told you
that's outrageous.
Well, that's unacceptable.
That's unacceptable
that
behavior coming from a police officer.
That is an unacceptable answer.
I'm sorry for behaving that way.
I've got to go. I don't want to hang up on you, but I do need to go.
Fine.
That's all police do to us.
Bye.
That's all police do to us.
Have a good one.
Thank you for contacting us.